What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two of the best players currently on the planet. I hope you guys do enjoy this game, number 6 in the Grand Finals, and spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Parasite LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently known as the best player on the planet, and in this game, he wants to end it once and for all and be the world champion. His name is Serral. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's currently one game away from tying this thing up and going to a Game 7, and that's exactly what his plan is in this game right here. His name is Stats. So guys and girls, I can honestly say that this series so far has been probably one of the most, one of the best series I've ever casted, one of the best series I've ever watched live from Blizzcon ever, guys. It is the, probably, truly, the one of the best series I've ever seen of StarCraft 2, and I think that's also because of you know, a lot of the result, but also just how incredible both of these players are, and just you know, Stats, you know, trying to make a comeback here. Serral being, you know, trying to become the very first ever StarCraft 2 champion outside of Korea. So here we go, guys. Hatch gas pool out of Serral. And it looks like Stats is going to go for a relatively standard build as well. Gateway, a simulator into the cybernetics core, and then the natural base Nexus. But this series, guys, has been nothing shy of remarkable and extraordinary, I will say, for sure. It's been absolutely incredible on multiple angles. Both these guys are, you know, as I said, the best in the world at their specific races, and they have they've proven it time and time again. And I you know, it's something that we you know, of course, you know, as StarCraft 2 has evolved over the years, you know, we're constantly seeing better and better play, and you know, you'd think it's not going to get much better, and then it does. The play just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Does look like Serral has decided to go ahead and get that third base hatchery up as quickly as possible. He's getting that Zergling speed upgrade, whereas the Warp Gate research is coming in for Stats. Does look like there is an adept that is going to, you know, try to get a little bit of some scouting information and shade away right at the last minute. So very well done there by Stats, getting some nice scouting information. That being said, though, guys, it looks like we're setting ourselves up for what could potentially be another macro-focused game here. Does look like Serral is going to sacrifice one of his overlords to see if there's any scouting information that he can get. Does look like we are going to get another gateway out of Stats. And it looks like he's decided to go ahead and start getting some of those air units, Phoenix as well as Oracles. And then, of course, you're going to have, he has another Stargate that's going to be going up here. Serral, on the other hand, is just kind of macroing up a bigger and bigger force here, as far as a bigger and bigger economy, I should say. He is getting the Overlord speed relatively early this game. I like that decision a lot. It's really good to know exactly what your opponent is doing at all times. Does look like a couple of these drones may very well go down here, and Stats is going to be able to get away with that Oracle as well as that Phoenix. So as I was saying, I mean, it looks pretty standard. It looks like Serral's going to go for the lair, and then as well as a Roach Warren. Some Zerglings are going to be on that production tab, and it looks like Stats is going to go ahead and continue the probe production right now to try to get a bigger and bigger economy up here. Looks like he's going to be taking that third Nexus here relatively soon. More and more Zerglings as well as some Roaches are going to be coming out here. It does look like there is going to be some Adepts here on the opposite side of the map here. And I'm wondering if Serral is going to take some of these Zerglings and try to get the cancel on this third Nexus at some point or another. But it does look like, you know, the defenses are getting even stronger for Serral. He's getting a couple of Spore Crawlers in all of his bases. Evolution Chamber is going to be coming out here now as well. But there are a lot of Phoenixes. And, you know, this is something that Stats has been doing. And it has been causing some problems for our Zerg player. Does look like, you know, he's got those Spore Crawlers. So the Spore Crawlers are going to be in a good position here. But you got to be very careful because these all of these Phoenixes can take out your mineral line in a matter of seconds. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Looks like he is going to go after at least the drones and the gas geyser. Got to be careful though. You don't want to be losing these all of these Phoenixes here. So he is going to start moving. Looks like the Hydra Den is going to be coming up as well as the Baneling Nest. They are going to go after some of these, more of these drones here. Does get more and more of those drones. All that being said and done, you know, not any crippling damage, but this stuff all definitely helps in the grand scheme of things. Stats is going to get started with, you know, trying to produce more and more probes here and get a bigger and bigger economy as we go. Looks like we are going to be getting the Hydra upgrades going for Stats, or for Serral. And then you have the Roly-Poly upgrade that's going to be coming up here for the Banelings as well. Now, interestingly enough, we've got the fourth base coming up here for Serral. So Serral is going to try to play the late game here. Infestation Pit's going to be coming up here for Serral. So it looks like he might be going for a very quick hive. +1 is going to be started here. Now, Stats definitely saw what was going on here. And he is going to have charge as well as +1 started for his ground-based units. So, plus, you know, charges coming out of that Twilight Council. You got the Templar Archives are going to be coming up here. And then more and more gateways are going to be started here as well. More and more harassment with all of these Phoenixes trying to get the kills on some of those queens, doing a pretty nice job at that. But it does look like, as I said, fourth base is up. Nothing too crazy though as of yet though. I'm not seeing you know, any massive amounts of aggression as of yet from either player. It does look like, of course, those, it looks like the melee attacks level 1 is finishing up, as well as, of course, those ground weapons level 1 for Stats. So we're going to have to keep an eye on all these Phoenixes because they are trying to just be a very big nuisance to Serral at this point. Serral is playing this thing pretty well, at least, you know, when it's all said and done. You know, he's still ahead of the supply counts. Now, he is going for a very quick Greater Spire here. So, very interesting decision-making here. Does look like Stats is starting to build up another bigger and bigger force here. So, it looks like our Zerg player is going to go for Brood Lords here relatively soon. And I like that decision a lot because this is a very heavy ground-based force. And if you're starting to get a decent amount of those Brood Lords, that can be absolutely scary to deal with. And now these Banelings are going to come in here. Now, some nice force fields there. Stats is playing very, very well as of these past few games, guys. He's been playing this thing super well. And I've been very impressed with his play. Now, there are these Banelings that are rolling in there. We got to be very careful. Nothing too crazy as of yet here, as far as the these banelings are concerned as far as baneling hits, but slowly but surely that creep spread is starting to move, and that is something that that our Protoss player has got to be aware of, and definitely start trying to do a little bit of some damage to those creep tumors. And here we go. It does look like Serral is going to start moving onto the 4th base location here of the Protoss player, and it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do a whole lot, but he did get a pylon at least for his troubles, and it does look like Stats is starting to move on to creep here. Serral now is going to probably, you know, is going to show his cards when he shows these Brood Lords, and the Brood Lords are very slow, but they can do so much damage if given the time. And now we've got a pretty big army of Serrals is starting to move, and at the same time Stats is starting to move onto creep here. So we're gonna have two different we're gonna have a couple of different engagements here at the same time that are gonna be going on. Those Brood Lords are starting to fire down, and just like that, it looks like Stats was able to hold on once again. Now these banelings are gonna be coming in here, and those Archons, they can take a lot of baneling hits, but at the same time, you do not want to just lose this entire Zerg army here. Beautiful storms there, and now it looks like Serral once again is forced back home. Wow. It's going to be interesting because we have 4 bases by our Protoss player, 4 currently, 5 are going to be coming up here for Serral, and it's hard to tell really like who's in the lead right now. I would have to say probably Serral, but you know, the defense by Stats has been very, very good, so I'm not sure if I would really feel comfortable in saying that he's definitely ahead, because drops like this are going to be huge for Stats in the long run, trying to get trying to go ahead and get those you know, those kills on those drones. And the kill on the War Prism is a pretty big one actually for Serral. So now we got Tempest out here for our Protoss player. He's got Tempest. He's got 2 coming out at a time. Looks like the Flyer Attacks upgrade number 1 is level 1 is finished up for Serral. And then it does look like more and more of these Brood Lords are being constructed right now. This is going to be a pretty big force of Brood Lords. And then, of course, the Ling Bane Hydra composition can always be pretty scary. I love that it's being used right now, and oh my god, you do not want those High Templar to be taken out for free. And it does look like the Zerglings are gonna jump on this army right here and right now. It does look like these storms are gonna come in, and it's gonna shoo Serral away at this point. So Revelation is on this army. So it looks like Serral's gonna be forced to go back home. He very well may decide to go after... Oh, all these Phoenixes are just gonna be almost in the general vicinity. A little bit of some miss micro there by Stats. That could be pretty big there for him, as far as you just don't want to lose, you know, unit composition or units for free in a grand finals of the global finals, and it's on match point right now. So here we go. Both players are pretty much maxed out, and now the question is who's going to have the advantage in the fight when these two armies do eventually clash. Serral's going to go ahead and take another base. We do also have some more and more, we have some Vipers coming out, as well as some Corruptors. Melee attacks level 3 is going to be finishing up here very, very shortly. So those upgrades are coming out here for Serral finishing up. The same can be said, though, for our Protoss player. He's going to be getting his upgrades as well. And it does look like our Protoss player is going to start moving a little bit here. And this is a pretty scary force here for Stats. He's got a pretty nice sized army. I still like Serral in this situation because of all the bases he's getting. He's getting so many different bases, and he's going to be on 6 bases at this point, which is absolutely massive. Now, if Stats can keep tabs on this army here, and can really keep tabs on the creep tumors, that will be very, very helpful. Now, there is a mothership coming out here, as well as some of these carriers are going to be coming out as well. So this is going to become a very scary army to deal with. Now, there are brood lords are starting to move pretty far away from home. There are corruptors as well as vipers here as well, and it does look like those like all these brood lords are going to do a lot of damage to this base here if given the chance. And it does look like there is going to be a counterattack here on the opposite side. Looks like Serral has decided to back off, at least at this point, and is going back to fight the main bulk of the army here. There is a lot of units here for Stats, but I don't know if I like how far he is right now on creep. He's going to go after what is the 4th base location right now. He's going to take that out in a matter of seconds, and it looks like Serral has given up on that base. He very well may have given up on the other base, but at the same time, he is pushing on the opposite side of the map, trying to hit in multiple areas, trying to get a bunch of those hydralisks. But these hydras are taking out so many of those probes. Beautiful play here by Serral with the counterattack. This army is kind of out of position right now, and the mass recall is still on cooldown. And right at this point, it does seem like Serral is going to see the cards that are being used right now by his opponent. It looks like those Vipers, though, are going to begin very close here. They're going to try to snag. Oh my god, they snagged the mothership, and the mothership is going to go down in a matter of seconds. Just like that, the Vipers took out oh my god, they took out the mothership by, of course, the Vipers, and those Corruptors made short work of all of the mothership. Absolutely beautiful play there by Serral, really catching Stats a little bit off guard there. And now with this death ball of units coming in for Serral, this is a lot of brood lords, and the beautiful abducts here by these Vipers is just creating so much value here, getting more and more of those units. Slowly but surely, I think our Zerg player is trying to bleed his opponent dry here of units. Slowly but surely, and it looks like he's going to start moving in to this what is the 4th base, or possibly, yeah, the 4th base location here of the Zerg, or of the Protoss. And now he's going to go ahead and start taking out this base, and it looks like it is just going down so quickly. It's going to go down just like that, and Serral is starting to just absolutely create massive problems here for our Protoss player. Now, Stats is definitely not out of this thing just yet, but this is becoming very scary for Stats to have to deal with. I mean, this is just so much unit composition here by Serral, and he's getting all these bases are going up and about to start running here, and just like that, more and more of these the Zerg units are all over all of these units, and just like that, once again, the abducts very well might be coming in again. They are going right after the mothership. Now, the mothership is going to live for a little bit longer here, but wow, Serral is starting to slowly take over here, and I think he could take over the entirety of the game, but is playing this thing very, very, he's playing this game extremely careful right now, to say the least. He does not want to lose all of his bases and his economy, seeing as how he knows he is ahead at this point. Now, these Zerglings are going to start, these Zergling run-bys are starting to do, damage here and damage there. Like I said, though, Stats is not out of this game just yet. He's still in this game, but there is just, there is a lot of Zerg. There is so much Zerg everywhere. The Broodlords, I mean, let's not even talk about those Broodlords. And then on top of that, you've got, of course, the Corruptors that are doing substantial amounts of damage as well. And here we go. There's just not that many units right now for stats, even though he does have a decent amount of, you know, of good units still. This could get kind of scary here very quickly. Now these Banelings are moving in, and oh my god, they're doing so much damage to all these probes. The probes are getting absolutely decimated, and just like that, another base is going to go down here. It looks like, at least, for our Protoss player. And that is absolutely detrimental right now. Stats is just trying so hard to hold on here, and Serral is just smartly playing it very slow, not pushing across the map just yet. He's doing these run-bys. He's making sure that he's keeping his opponent on his toes and just slowly bleeding his opponent dry here, is Serral. Now, if I'm stats at this point, I would go for most likely an all-out assault at this point and just try to throw Serral off guard here, and maybe stats is doing just that right now, because there is just so much Zerg everywhere. These Zergling run-bys are just doing so much damage, and just like that, the Baneling hits are just connecting and getting so many kills here. Serral once again is maxed out, and he is gonna, I mean, he is everywhere. Serral is everywhere. He's got bases everywhere, and this army is just, I mean, is absolutely terrifying right now. And this is the last, pretty much, of Stats' army. He does not have that much army left over, and now he's Serral is going to start moving across the map, trying to get into the main base location here, very, very slowly. He's going to start trying to move in there, and it looks like he's going to be pushed back. And now it looks like these units are going to go right after some of the carriers and trying to get those abducts, which they do. Another Viper is going to be joining the fight. A couple more will be joining very, very shortly. But like I said, this is what Serral does best. He bleeds his opponent dry until there is just nothing left for his opponent to do, or nowhere else for his opponent to expand to. And that's what Serral does so well. I mean, just look at all of these units. There's just not that much left for stats here. You know, not that many more, like, actually mining bases that have a lot of minerals. It's just becoming, you know, it's becoming pretty scary right now. I mean, Serral is going to start moving in once again because he's fully maxed out here. He just wants to take a good engagement, though. I really think that he could take over right here and right now, and he's slowly pushing here, and then once again he's going to go ahead and kind of play this thing very, very slowly. You don't want to, you know, overextend here, but he has got our Protoss player exactly where he wants him, slowly taking out base after base after base. And we're talking, these are all mining bases here that he is taking out. And it is just slowly bleeding his opponent dry. The amount of minerals that Serral has is just out of control right now. Now, I'm surprised Serral has not completely, you know, moved in here and taken out this army. He's going to go for a couple of abducts, and gets a couple of those Tempests. Beautifully done. But he's just kind of slowly but surely trying to you know, take out this army. And more carriers are coming out, but I am just getting really, really worried about stats here, because he's the one that needs to be dictating what's going on, but he's not. He is playing from behind. He has to play defense at this point. He can't play really any offense, and Serral is just, you know, I mean, absolutely just dominating in all phases of this game so far. And it looks like those, it looks like all these units, once again, he's going to go for some of these abducts. And it does look like Serral is just slowly but surely trying to get the kill on a bunch of these units as well as these bases. Wow, and more of these Zerglings are trying to get in. The Zerglings get in. They get the surround on a couple of these units. It does look like, once again, Stats is trying to maybe push in a little bit here, but it is just not really working out here, at least at this point. The amount of just units that Serral has taken out at this point has just been, I mean, it's been beautifully played. And here we go. Is a surround going to be coming in here? I wonder if there's going to be a surround here. It looks like Stats may have had enough here, but I gotta say, just like that, Stats is trying to really force his hand here. And here we go. Serral is starting to get some of those Vipers, get some energy with those Vipers. And it looks like this army is starting to move, and more and more of those Zerglings are trying to do some damage on the other side of the map here. But this is where the main action is, and they are going to go ahead and take out the mothership once again. Oh my god, the amount of damage being dealt here. And it looks like Serral is still trying to play this extremely smartly. He is slowly going after this army. And I wonder if he should just jump on this army at this point. There isn't much left here for Stats, and here we go. It does look like Serral, he is going to go ahead, he's going to jump on this army, and all these carriers are going down, and GG is called, and Serral wins the grand finals of the global finals of StarCraft 2, and is the StarCraft 2 champion and the best player on the planet. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Serral and Stats. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive. And as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.